Hello, everybody. It's Miss Laura from Bartlesville Public Library here for your weekly virtual story time. Are you ready? Here we go. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? All right. Very nice. Let's start with a horsey ride. If you want to pretend you're on a horse, like this duck, pig, dog, and cat, or if you want to get on someone's lap that can bounce like a horse, this is called Clip Clop by Nicholas Smee. Hey, who wants a ride? Asks Mr. Horse. Me, please, says Cat. Off they go, clip, clop, clippity, clop, clip, clop, clippity, clop. I want to ride too, please, Mr. Horse, says Dog. Up you get, says Mr. Horse. Clip, clop, clippity, clop, clip, clop, clippity, clop. What about me, says Mr. Pig. I want to ride too, please, Mr. Horse. Up you get, says Mr. Horse. Clip, clop, clippity, clop, clip, clop, clippity, clop. Don't leave me behind, says Duck. Up you get, says Mr. Horse. Can you go a little faster, Mr. Horse? Asked the cat and dog and pig and duck. Of course I can, says Mr. Horse. But you have to make sure you hold on tight. Clip, clop, clippity, clop, clippity, clop. Faster, faster, clippity, clop. Faster, faster, clippity, clop. Faster, faster, clippity, clop. Faster, faster. Clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity. Look how fast they're going. Clippity, cloppity, clippity, cloppity. Whoa, stop. We're falling off, squeal cat and dog and pig and duck. Mr. Horse skids to a halt. And what happened to cat and dog and pig and duck? They flew through the air and landed in a haystack. Plop, plop, ploppity, plop. Thank goodness for that haystack, huh? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dearie me, says worried Mr. Horse. And do you know what cat and dog and pig and duck said? They said, again! Up you get, laughs Mr. Horse. And cat and dog and pig and duck go riding off again. Clip, clop, clippity, clop, clip, clop, clippity, clop. The end. Let's try our horse riding game that we do in story time. All right? So I'm going to pretend I'm on a horse. You can pretend you're on a horse or on someone's lap that can bounce you. Here we go. Let's see if I can remember it. Here we go. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, 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 giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, 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 giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, up, up. Whoa, horsey. You think we could go faster like they did in the book? Let's try it. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, 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 giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, 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 giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, up, up. Whoa, horsey. That was fun. What? You want to go faster? All right, let's go as fast as we can. On your mark, get set, go! Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, 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 giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, 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 giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, up, up. Whoa, horsey! All right. All right, let's read about Mrs. McNosh. This is called Oh My Gosh, Mrs. McNosh by Sarah Weeks and Nadine Bernard Westcott. Looks like Mrs. McNosh has a friendly little dog. Mrs. McNosh took a walk in the park. Her dog saw a squirrel and started to bark. "Stop barking! Stop pulling!" said Nellie McNosh, but George wouldn't listen. And so, oh my gosh, he zipped through the flowers and skipped through the trees, barking at bicycles, babies, and bees. Row, 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 row. He dove and he wove right past Mrs. McNosh. "I'll catch you," cried Nellie, but then, oh my gosh. The boat sprang a leak, so George had to jump out. "I'll catch you," cried Nellie, but she caught a big trout. He crashed through a wedding and trashed the buffet. "I'll catch you," cried Nellie, but she caught the bouquet. "Come back here right now," hollered Mrs. McNosh, but George just kept running until, oh my gosh, he bumped the plump umpire, then jumped the stone wall. "I'll catch you," cried Nellie, but she caught a fly ball. He danced and he pranced, then he shook and he rolled. "I'll catch you," cried Nellie, but she caught a bad cold right into the fountain. Whew, that's it. I give up. I can't catch you, it's true. I know when I'm licked, and I've been licked, George, by you. So Nellie walked back to her house all alone, and there on the porch she saw George's old bone. "I wish he'd come back," sniffled Mrs. McNosh. Then she opened the door and cried, "Oh my gosh!" He's an ornery little dog, isn't he? I have another story about a dog. If You Give a Dog a Donut, by Laura Numeroff and Felicia Bond. I think you might know of the story about if you give a mouse a cookie, or if you give a moose a muffin. We also have if you give a pig a pancake. But today we're going to read If You Give a Dog a Donut. Do you like donuts? If you give a dog a donut, he'll ask for some apple juice to go with it. When you give him the juice, he'll drink it all up. Then he'll ask for some more. There won't be any left, so he'll want to make his own. He'll go outside to pick apples. When he's up in the tree, he'll toss you an apple. Throwing it will make him think of baseball. He'll want to play. You'll have to get a ball and a glove. Of course, he'll also need a bat. He'll ask you to pitch. He will hit a home run. Woohoo! Then he'll do a happy dance to celebrate. What's your happy dance look like? Dancing will make him hot and dusty, so he'll need some water, and he'll probably start a water fight. You'll have to dry him off with your bandana. He'll wrap it around his head and pretend that he's a pirate. Arr! Then he'll want to go on a treasure hunt. He'll find an old kite and want to make one himself. You'll have to get him some sticks, some paper, and some string. That looks like a mighty fine kite. When the kite is finished, he'll want to fly it. It will go higher and higher and higher until it gets tangled in the apple tree. The tree will remind him of apple juice, so he'll probably ask you for some. And chances are, if he asks for some apple juice, he'll want a donut to go with it. Right? Right. Okay, let's see our A, B, C's. Ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Very nice. Very, very nice. I have 2 books left. I don't know which one to choose first. I think I will do Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. Catch a monkey by his toe. If he hollers, make him pay $50 every day. My mama told me to pick the very best one, and you are not it. All right. The gigantic turnip. Do you know what a turnip is? It's a vegetable. The closest thing you probably know to a turnip is a potato, maybe. This is a gigantic turnip. Usually they're about this big, but look, those people are sitting right on top of it. By Alexei Tolstoy and Niam Sharkey. The gigantic turnip. Look at it under the ground. Long ago, an old man and an old woman lived together in a crooked old cottage with a large, overgrown garden. The old man and the old woman kept 6 yellow canaries, 5 white geese, 4 speckled hens, 3 black cats, 2 pot-bellied pigs, and 1 big brown cow. On a fine March morning, the old woman sat up in bed, sniffed the sweet spring air, and said, "It's time for us to sow the vegetables." So the old man and the old woman went out into the garden. They sowed peas and carrots and potatoes and beans. Last of all, they sowed turnips. Do you know what it means to sow vegetables? It's not like when you sew clothes or a shirt. You are spreading the seeds out into the dirt for the vegetables to grow. That night, rain fell, pitter-patter, on the garden of the crooked old cottage. The old man and the old woman smiled as they slept. That rain would help the seeds swell and produce fine, juicy vegetables. Spring passed, and the summer sun ripened the vegetables. The old man and the old woman harvested their carrots and potatoes and peas and beans and turnips, and at the end of the row there was just 1 turnip left. It looked very big. In fact, it looked gigantic. On a fine September morning, the old man sat up in bed, sniffed the cool fall air, and said, "It's time for us to pull up that turnip." And out he went. That old man pulled and heaved and tugged and yanked, but the turnip would not move. The old man went to find the old woman. The old woman wrapped her arms round the old man's waist. Both of them pulled and heaved and tugged and yanked, but still the turnip would not move. So the old woman went to fetch who? The big brown cow. The old woman, the old man, and the big brown cow pulled and heaved, tugged and yanked, but still the turnip would not move. So the old man mopped his sweaty brow and went to fetch the two pot-bellied pigs. The old man, the old woman, the big brown cow, and the two pot-bellied pigs pulled and heaved and tugged and yanked. Still the turnip would not move. So the old woman rolled up her sleeves and went to fetch the three black cats. Man, the old man, the old woman, the big brown cow, the two pot-bellied pigs, and the three black cats pulled and heaved and tugged and yanked, and the turnip still would not move. So one of the cats twitched her tail and went to fetch the four speckled hens. So the old man, the old woman, the big brown cow, the two pot-bellied pigs, the three black cats, and the four speckled hens pulled and heaved and tugged and yanked. Did the turnip come out? No. So one of the hens shook her feathers and went to fetch the 5 white geese. Surely they'll be able to get the turnip out with all of that strength. The old man, the old woman, the big brown cow, the 2 pot-bellied pigs, the 3 black cats, the 4 speckled hens, and the 5 white geese pulled and heaved and tugged and yanked. Still, the turnip would not move. So one of the geese craned her neck and went to fetch the 6 yellow canaries. So, say it with me. The old man, the old woman, the big brown cow, the 2 pot-bellied pigs, the 3 black cats, the 4 speckled hens, the 5 white geese, and the 6 yellow canaries pulled and heaved and tugged and yanked. Still, the turnip would not move. The old man scratched his head. The animals and birds lay on the ground, gasping for breath. The old woman had an idea. The old woman went into the kitchen and put a piece of cheese by the mouse hole. Soon a hungry little mouse popped its head out of the hole. The old woman caught that mouse and carried it outside. Now, the old woman, the old man, the big brown cow, the 2 pot-bellied pigs, the 3 black cats, the 4 speckled hens, the 5 white geese, the 6 yellow canaries, and that hungry little mouse pulled and heaved, tugged and yanked, and pop! That gigantic turnip came flying out of the ground and everyone fell over. The canaries fell on the mouse, the geese fell on the canaries, the hens fell on the geese, the cats fell on the hens, the pigs fell on the cats, the cow fell on the pigs, the old woman fell on the cow, and the old man fell on the old woman. And all of them lay on the ground and laughed and laughed. Oh, that night, the old man and the old woman made a huge bowl of turnip stew. Everyone ate as much as they could. And do you know what? The hungry little mouse ate the most of all. The end. Alrighty. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 swish. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 all through the town. The horn on the bus goes beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 the horn on the bus goes beep, 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 all through the town. The people on the bus go up and down, up and down, up and down. The people on the bus go up and down, all through the town. The babies on the bus go wham, 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 wham. The babies on the bus go wham, 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 all through the town. The mommies on the bus go shh, 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 shh. The mommies on the bus go shh, 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 all through the town. The daddies on the bus say, I love you, I love you, I love you. The daddies on the bus say, I love you, all through the town. All right, our last book is about Russell the Sheep by Rob Scotton. Have you ever heard anyone suggest counting sheep when you can't fall asleep? Well, this is about a sheep, Russell, who couldn't fall asleep. Let's see what he does about that. Russell the sheep lived in Frog's Bottom Field. At the end of a long, busy day, night fell and the sheep got ready for bed. Soon, all was quiet, except for Russell. No matter how hard he tried, Russell could not fall asleep. Has that ever happened to you? Maybe if it were really dark, he thought, I'd be able to sleep. So he pulled his cap over his eyes, but the really dark really scared him. Perhaps I'm too hot, he thought. He took off his wool, but then he got cold. Ooh, perhaps I'm not. Russell pulled up a pillow, but the pillow hopped away, hopping mad. Maybe I need a better place to sleep, he decided, and went for a walk. Russell spied the trunk of the rusty car. It was too cramped. He tried the hollow of a tree. That was too creepy. Russell even tried sleeping on the branch of a tree, but it was too crowded. What's a sheep to do? Russell thought he would never get to sleep, but then he had a brilliant idea. What if he tried to count things? That would make him fall asleep. Russell counted his feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not tired. I guess I need more feet, he decided. What next? The stars. Russell counted each and every one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 million billion and 10. And Russell was wide awake. He counted them again. 600 million billion and 10. Russell thought very hard. In fact, he thought so hard, his hat went ziggy-zaggy. I know, he shouted. I'll count sheep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Still awake, he said, and sighed. Then Russell realized he had forgotten to count one very important little sheep. Himself. 10. Russell felt a tickle, then a twitch, and then he fell sound asleep. By now it was morning, and all the other sheep in the field began getting ready for the new day. Soon everyone was up. Everyone, that is, except Russell. And that is the end of story time today. We'll also be having in-person story time Wednesday and Thursday mornings, 10 o'clock for babies and toddlers, 11 o'clock for preschoolers and up. Can't wait to see you next time, whether in person or right here on virtual story time. Thanks.